Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
What's going on, everybody? It's the weekend, baby. And we are back with the Sports Happy Hour, joined by my bro Chris and my sis Sensei. Welcome in. How is everyone doing on this evening?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. How about y'all?
Doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Just sitting here watching this Hawks and Celtics game.
I didn't expect Atlanta to even win a game, and they are leading Boston right now. So maybe they will actually win one and not get swept here. NBA playoffs. Let's start off there. Golden State got the big win last night against the Sacramento Kings without Draymond. He had to sit out last game because he was stomping on people. But Golden State still handled their business. That series is now 2-1 in favor of Sacramento. Sensei, you've been covering the Kings all season long. If you could kind of tell us, what do you think went wrong for them last night? And then what's going to be the key for them to try to steal game 4?
I think the biggest thing is that they couldn't make shots. I think they did everything that they've been doing to win the first 2 games, as far as defense, as far as crashing the boards, making things difficult for Steph, but they just weren't making shots. I mean, they had a lot of wide open shots. I mean, I think they only made I don't remember the exact number, but I know it was really low in threes. And they shot a lot of threes, and they missed a good majority of those threes. So I think that definitely plays a part, the fact that they weren't able to make shots. And then Steph in that building is just, he just is a different animal. And once Steph got going and the crowd got into it, I think they just kind of lost momentum. And like I said, they were trying to match Golden State 3 for 3, and it's like you that's how you lose, because most teams can't outshoot Golden State. Golden State is a shooting team, like that's what their specialty is. So you're not going to be able to match 3 for 3 with them, and I think they kind of got a little too 3 happy instead of going inside, instead of driving, getting the easy mid range like they had been doing in the first 2 games. But yeah, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, I think it's just as simple as making shots. They got to make shots.
Make shots, Chris. Your thoughts on that game from last night?
Yeah, I thought that was the biggest factor as well. A lot of people were saying that Golden State played a lot better defense, which I thought they played a little bit better defense than they did at Sacramento. But Sacramento still had a lot of open shots that they just didn't hit. Yeah. And then you had Andrew Wiggins and Kayvon Looney really show up for Golden State. Kayvon Looney, I think, had 9 offensive rebounds and had 9 assists. So, I mean, that was real big for them, where he didn't really he got in foul trouble there in Sacramento some. So I thought that made a big difference. But, yeah, Sacramento missed a lot of shots that they were hitting in the first 2 games.
Yeah, there were a lot of missed shots last night from the Kings. De'Aaron Fox still put up 26. The bench for Sacramento didn't really do a whole lot. Looney, 20 rebounds. And most of the time when he was getting a board, he would pass it out to somebody. It's score, 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 and that was big for Golden State last night. Steph had 36. He made 6 threes. So it was Golden State looked like Golden State last night. So now let's fast forward. Game 4 is Sunday. Draymond is back. What do you see? How do you see Game 4 going, Sensei?
I mean, I think the Kings still have a good opportunity to win Game 4. I think honestly they played better when Draymond was in the lineup, to be honest, because he's kind of at a disadvantage, especially with Sabonis and some of the big bodies that the Kings can, like with Lyles and that the Kings can throw at them. You know what I'm saying? He's not as tall, he's not as physical. So like I said, I think they definitely play better with him on the floor, but they just got to make. I mean, honestly, they have to just make shots. They got a lot, like Chris said, they got a lot of wide open shots that they normally hit and they didn't make. I think the Kings bench definitely has to play better. They're going to need a lot more from Malik Monk because they do rely a lot on him as far as what he's able to provide off the bench, especially with scoring. So they need to get a lot of bench production, attack the paint. The rebounds can pretty much stay the same because they're still, doing an amazing job on the boards. But you got to definitely keep Kevin Looney out of the paint, and as far as rebounding, because like you said, he was setting up a lot of good things for Golden State. So as long as you can keep him from getting rebounds, they can make shots and they get some production from their bench. I think they'll be okay.
All right. So you have the Kings winning Game 4.
I'm gonna say it's possible. I still think that Golden State will win Game 4 just because it's Golden State and in that building, like it's gonna be electric, man. So I honestly see this series going 7. I definitely think Golden State can knot it up, and then when they get back to our place, I think we can take Game 5. Golden State will probably take Game 6, and then Game 7 is a draw, honestly and truly. But yeah, I say Golden State wins Game 4, but I do give the Kings a good chance. Like I said, if those things happen that I mentioned, they have a very good shot.
Okay. Chris, you got Warriors or Kings in Game 4?
I have Warriors in Game 4. And mainly, basically, like Sensei said, because they're at home. They're getting Draymond back, but honestly, I think they look better without Draymond in there because they could space the floor better with Jordan Poole out there starting. They could space the floor and it made it, I think, a little more difficult for the Kings on defense, especially with, like Sensei said, with Sabonis being the bigger guy. But I think the Warriors will have a chance. I think Sabonis is going to have to do better in the paint this game than what he did last game. I think he only had 15 points or something.
15, yeah.
He's usually a guy to get you 20 and at least 20 a night. I'm a big Sabonis fan because he played for the Pacers for a while, so I was upset when he left. So I kind of keep track of him. But I picked the Warriors to win the series, but I said I thought it would go 7. So I think the Warriors get this one at home.
Yeah, I think Golden State will win Game 4 as well. In order for Golden State to win the series, I feel like it can't go 7. And the reason why I say that is Game 7 at Sacktown in that place.
Listen to me. Let me just interject for a second.
Yeah.
Because I live out here in Sacramento. I go to I work all of the games. I'm pretty much every home game I'm at that game.
Mm-hmm.
The energy just alone off of the Kings making the playoffs was insane. And then to see how I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook and watching my story, like I've been kind of documenting a little bit. That the energy for those first 2 games at home was just like, the entire city stopped and it paused for a second. Like if there was any grievances, those were left to the side at that point because everybody was collectively together. A Kings fan, like outside the arena was packed. There were so many people were excited. Like it breathed new life back into the city, honestly, because we had a couple down years. We had a mass shooting a couple of years ago that kind of slowed our downtown scene completely down. Like it wasn't really, popping the way it was before. But the Kings doing well has definitely brought life back into the city, brought life back into the downtown scene. But if there is a Game 7 in Sacramento, the city is going to end. And like I said, I'm just manifesting, putting this out there. If the Kings happen to win that Game 7, the city will flip upside down. Trust me when I tell you. Like, I'm just gonna document it from start to finish. If you see me out in the street, like, because I have to show you just how powerful and just how energetic the city is just behind this team and how much they believe and have faith. Like, it hasn't been like this in a really, really long time. So I'm just letting y'all know Game 7 here is going to be absolutely insane.
You can feel the energy when you watch a Kings home game. You can feel the crowd. It's kind of like watching a Chiefs home game.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can feel that energy in that
for
crowd.
Sure.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I don't know if you guys have been following this whole Light the Beam movement, but that beam has superpowers in it. Like, I'm telling you, like when to give you a prime example, like if the Kings are up, let's say they're up like by 15 to 20 or something points, and it's like a minute left, like the chants are so deafening of like Light the Beam, because it brings so much joy to people, and it's literally simply just a purple light that shoots in the sky. That's all it is. But there's just something about it that it's like, it feels like it's our own. So it's like when it happens, everybody in the city is like electric. Like you can see it all over downtown, no matter where you're walking, you can see the remnants of it, like over the river, over the lake. Like, it's just, like I said, it just has this significance of like, this is ours. And so this is like our personal thing. Like, there's so many t-shirts, hoodies. I mean, full on gear just that say Light the Beam. Like, I just am happy that I've been a part of it and had a front row seat at it, because it's really been like historic almost, in a sense, because it's been so long since the Kings were relevant, and they were about to leave Sacramento because they hadn't been relevant so long. Like, they were like this close. This year has completely changed that. So yeah, it's been crazy for sure.
Yeah, and I love watching it because I am old enough to remember when the Kings were back when they were really good.
Yep.
and the cowbells and everything that they would do. Like,
listen, they brought the cowbells back too.
They brought
cowbells back. Yep, they got the cowbells back.
So it's been so fun to watch that city come back to life.
And the Light the Beam has took over everywhere, not just in Sacramento. You hear about it on radio stations out here in Indiana. You're hearing about Light the Beam. So I mean, it's taken over the whole country, kind of.
Like, there's some of the like local rap artists out here have made like Light the Beam theme songs. Like, like I said, there's t-shirts, sweaters, kids, come up to you screaming Light the Beam. Like, it's like I said, it's literally something that has taken over the entire city, and it's just such a warm feeling, because like that's the one thing that we all, people that live in Sacramento, come together on, is like, we are excited about the Kings being relevant again, like, and just, what I'm saying, being competitive and being in the conversation. Like, people got to take it serious now, and I think that's like the biggest thing.
Yes, definitely. But at the beginning of the series, I had Golden State in 6.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the only way they can win the series and move on is in 6.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes 7, I do not see them winning that Game 7 in Sacramento.
That would be the last thing that they would want, is for a Game 7 to be in Sacramento, because the crowd alone is going to make sure the Kings win. Like,
right.
There will be no oh my God. Like I said, I'm manifesting that because I had it going 7 originally. Just because I thought the Kings could be competitive and push the button a little bit with Golden State. But if that does entail, and that actually happens, and we have the Game 7 here, I'm taking the Sacramento Kings in the Game 7.
Yeah, and everything as we know. Oh, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, if the Warriors win Game 4, I think Game 5 is a must-win game for both teams because Sacramento don't want to go to Golden State face domination. Golden State don't want to have.
They don't. Yeah.
Game 7.
Yes, that's gonna be where the chips are all pushed to the middle of the table, because like you said, Sacramento being a young, experienced team, the last thing you want to do is go down 2-3 or 2-3 to Golden State and then have that Game 6 in their building, because Game 6 Clay is a thing, and we all know how he acts in Game 6, and they will not lose that game in Game 6. Please understand when I say that they will not. The same way I said the crowd won't let Sacramento lose a Game 7, the crowd in Golden State is not going to let them lose in a Game 6, especially if it's a Game 6 closeout. That's a curtain call. That's a curtain call. I mean, unless De'Aaron Fox turns into a form of LeBron James, and Malik Monk can turn into a Clay, and you know what I'm saying? They come with the Monstars. I don't see how Sacramento's gonna be able to knock that up at 3-3. So yeah, Game 5 is gonna be do or die for both teams. I absolutely agree, Chris.
Yeah, Game 5 would be, and if it did go 7, past history, we all know what happened back in 2002, Lakers, Kings, the whole Donaghy had some the Lakers, and they got some calls and all of that. And I'm sure the league will be like, hey, let's kind of make up for that.
So the last thing they want to
get some calls.
No, seriously, because the last thing they want to do is have it be because of calls. That's the last thing. Them refs ain't getting out of Sacramento alive. I can tell you that. I can tell you that.
And the way these refs have been this playoff so far, they're getting on top of it. Especially last night.
They better get their best, most conditioned, fair calling refs for that Game 7, because if it go one way and it's Golden State's way, they are going to look.
It's gonna be bad.
Man, send me up a prayer, because all I'm trying to do is get home after that. It's gonna be bad.
Chi-Town Mike, what's up? He says, forget the Beam Dub Nation.
First of all, Mike, don't do that. Don't do that. That's disrespectful. Don't do that, because the Beam ain't did nothing to you. The Beam ain't did nothing to you. That's disrespectful. Don't do that. That's out of pocket. That's out of pocket.
Chi-Town Mike. But on to Nets and Sixers. James Harden got tossed out the game for swiping in an area they felt like shouldn't have been swiped at. And John, I'm gonna get to your question right now. Thanks for watching. Did you think Harden ejection was legit? I will start this one off because I was very upset. And I don't even have a dog in the fight. I don't care about Sixers or Nets. But the NBA has gotten too soft. And this is what I mean. Okay, he swiped, in the person's groin area. To me, if it's on purpose, you're going to hit with more force than what Harden did. It's not going to be no swipe. It's going to be it's going to be more force in that hit if it's on purpose. That's why I felt like it was not. If anything, if you wanted to give Harden a flagrant 1, just like Embiid got a flagrant 1 for what he did in the first quarter, then that's fine. But to toss him out for that, that's just, the NBA has gotten too soft. There's no way back in the 90s he definitely wouldn't have got thrown out. Even in the early 2000s, he wouldn't have got thrown out for that. So I thought the refs kind of handled that poorly. But Chris, what did you think of that? James,
Yeah, I didn't think he should have been ejected. You see players all the time on their first move, they kind of nudge with their forearm to try to create some space. It just happened to be a little bit lower. But when the defender's on you like that, that's going to happen. To me, it was more of a basketball play. If you want to call him for a foul, call him for a foul. But to be ejected, I didn't like it at all. Especially after seeing what Embiid did, and he didn't get ejected. To me, that was worse than what Hart.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say the same thing. Like, I feel like what Embiid did is way worse than what James Harden did. Like Greg said, like, if you swipe it in the area, like, that's a basketball play. Like, I could see if it was like egregious where he kind of second guessed, or he might have stopped and then swung. Like, it was all in one motion. Like, it was all in the momentum. So, here he goes. Here he goes.
What's up, man?
What's
Listen,
up,
feel the
Mike?
roar, my boy.
Mike?
Feel the roar, my boy.
Fuck that beam.
That's disrespectful, Mike. We
I
haven't done
don't care nothing. Hey,
We haven't done nothing to you. We
Y'all
did
think-
nothing to you.
y'all think y'all Batman or something? Y'all got a beam? Y'all think it's cool or something?
Yeah. And when we shine it in Clay's eye, don't say nothing.
Yeah, you know what? How's Malik feeling today?
He's feeling all right, actually.
Is
I
he?
talked to him. He's good. You know, he said he's gonna make some shots. He'll be okay.
Sabonis' chest still hurt?
Yeah, it does hurt, actually,
Yeah,
but
I bet it does.
it, you know what I'm saying? It's well enough that he can play and he'll be all right.
Yeah,
He'll-
maybe keep your hands to yourself. Play with your mama, not with me. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
that.
I mean, also if Draymond could keep his foot to himself, then maybe.
Hey man, well, maybe if his foot wasn't taken out from under him, it wouldn't be a bad
I mean, but
problem.
you had a lot of landing spot, and the fact that you looked down
Yeah, I
and wanted to
did.
stomp on somebody's chest, that's
yeah,
different.
I did. But
Yeah,
my mama
it's
always told me keep my hands to myself or bad things are gonna happen. And sometimes
Yeah,
bad
I
things
mean,
happen.
you could have, cost your team another championship because you have a history of this. But anyway, that's fine. It's
Hey,
okay.
hey, wait, hold on. So I have 4 points a game. I don't think it's that deep. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that triple single. Stay over
Yeah,
there with that triple single.
I don't think anyone's gonna be bothered by it.
Yeah, they shouldn't be because you don't affect the game anymore.
Yeah, you
Anyway, love you, Mike. No, but honestly, I don't think James Harden should have got a flagrant 2 for that and got ejected for that. That to me was egregious, and I think that there's been a theme this playoffs all of a sudden where they just won't allow them to just play basketball. Like at some point, you gotta let them play basketball. And it's like that, like I said, to me, and that's all in one motion. That's a basketball play. I could see if he ain't I don't know. It's just weird. The refs got to stop being so soft and just let these players play. Like, everything ain't gonna be Malice in the Palace. Like, relax.
Yeah, I didn't like Claxton getting thrown out as well.
Yeah, that was
again.
stupid,
That was
yeah.
another one that was
Because he
like,
flexed
what are we-
after a
what are we
dunk. I
doing?
mean,
What are we doing?
The refs have been not very good this playoffs. Chi-Town Mike, my man.
Hi, Greg.
What's
I haven't
going
seen-
on?
Mike got all famous on us. We ain't seen Mike in a while. He all
Always
a
talking about-
celebrity out here
I'm just
now.
Yeah, Mike out there doing his thing, man.
know.
Just a busy
Yes,
person,
sir.
man. I just do a lot of things.
What did you think of James Harden getting tossed last night?
That was weak as hell. I can ask Gonzo, what's the narrative of the language today? You direct this, sir.
Greg's in charge.
Greg's in charge. Oh, damn. If Greg's in charge, I'm already off.
It can be mild. It can be mild. I'm okay with that.
If
Yes.
that was bullshit, Greg. That's my personal opinion. That's
Okay,
what I mean.
I appreciate that.
I think Alana's wrong 110%. That's a basketball play. My ass. It was 100% a get off me type of move. And I don't think it was anything like it wasn't that deep. It was just a get off me type of move. And you see that every
Well,
single
that's
day.
why I
in
said it was a
basketball.
basketball play. It was
Yeah, it's a basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, but like he wasn't like really in the motion of doing anything. There was no basketball play. It was kind of just I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna let you know to get off me type of thing. And that's really what it was. And you see that every day in at all levels of basketball. And I think that's a part of the beauty of the game is, you never know when an elbow is just going to come and totally ruin your day. But, it happens to me a couple of times. I'm 5'8", so it's like, it happens a lot actually. But, it's definitely something that I felt like was directed and kind of pushed a little further than it should have been because of how Joel Embiid reacted a little bit earlier in that game. I mean, Joel was going, if y'all, hey, Alana want to come at me about Draymond, golly.
Yeah.
I mean, Joel was just out here.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I agree. I agree.
it looked like
Joel.
God just came down from the stands and just kicked this man in the face. Like that was the longest leg kick I think I've ever seen. I know Gonzo watches a lot of wrestling. I mean, I think Joel could get down in the ring. So, I mean, it definitely was something for me where all night long these guys were going at it. And the Claxton one was kind of, I just felt like to avoid a further altercation later on. And that, to me, again, it was very weak. Let them play. I think that's the beauty of it, and I think that's the best part of it, and I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm really excited for Game 4 with the Warriors just because of that simple fact of Sabonis and Draymond. Everybody thinks that that's going to die down. That's not dying down anytime soon.
No.
Not at
I
all.
promise you, the second there's
Not at
tip
all.
off, Sabonis is kicking him in the chest on the first play. I think it's going to be a beautiful sight. It's going to be great, but that's where I'm coming from with it now is like now Embiid might not play Game 4. He has the sprain. Kawhi's not playing Game 4 or 5. I forget which one that is. So
can we get into Kawhi? Because
Yes.
my bad. I didn't mean to jump it, but there's just
no.
God,
We can build
everybody's
up to
banged
it. I
up
just
right
wanna
now,
talk
man.
about
Everybody's banged up right now, and I hate to see it.
Yeah, especially this time of year. Yeah, you hate to see the stars getting hurt. John, let's answer your question right quick, and then Sis, we'll get on Kawhi getting injured. John, do we think the Sixers get the sweep without Embiid in Game 4? Chi-Town Mike,
Yes.
I'll let you start this off.
Yes.
Do they get the sweep?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, they get it without Joel.
7 times yes.
7 times, yes.
And it's disrespectful too because Mikal Bridges is one of my favorite players. So I do love Mikal, but the rest of that team is just not. It's they have. I think of them like I think of the Bulls. You got a nice group of guys, but they do not complement each other whatsoever. I think really it's just obviously Cam, Mikal. I think Claxton can kind of fit in wherever. He's kind of like a Kevon Looney kind of guy. But everybody else from Spencer on, who? Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who?
Yeah. I feel you. On that. Sis, do they get the sweep without Joel?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, like Mike said, I mean, Brooklyn outside of those two that he named, like there's nothing else that's gonna make a big jump. And I think that even if Joel is out for a game or two, like I think James Harden and Tyrese Maxey is enough to elevate them over the Brooklyn Nets. Like the Brooklyn Nets, they just don't have enough. Like they don't have enough star power. If they had like one more guy, then it might make a difference. But they like I said, they just don't have enough. And I think Philly is deep enough to get over those 2 games, get Joel some rest, and then go ahead and head for get prepared for the next round.
All right, and Chris.
Yeah, I think the Sixers sweep. I think they sweep. I mean, if you look at last night, Joel Embiid didn't have a great game last night. He made that big block at the end, but offensively, he didn't score a lot of points. He had an off night.
Dude, Gonzo, I listened to your picks before that day. Dude, Embiid killed me, man. What do you?
Hey, I had a rough day yesterday. I was 4-4 yesterday.
Dude,
The rest of the week, I was done real good.
Dude, it's been a bad week for parlays. I can't even hold you, man.
I agree with everyone as well. I think it's going to be a sweep. The Nets had their chance to try to get back in the series last night. They didn't do it. So I think it's going to be curtains for Brooklyn. Kawhi, who always seems to get hurt when it's the playoffs. He did not play Game 3 last night, and the Clippers lost. Clippers are on the ropes. We don't know if Kawhi is going to be back in the series. Paul George is already out, of course. So, Chris,
That shit's awesome.
is this basically the end for the this series? The Suns are just gonna win the next 2 games, and it's gonna be curtains for the Clippers since Kawhi's injured now.
If Kawhi don't play no more in the series, I think it is, and it sucks because I think if the Clippers were healthy, this is another series that was going to go maybe 6-7 games. Where now I could see the Suns winning the next 2 games and being done with the series. I mean, you're already without one of your stars in George, and now if you're without Kawhi, I mean, Norman Powell stepped up last night and had 40-something points. How many nights is he going to be able to put that up consistently? Russ had, I think, 32 points. We know not just 2 nights before that he went 4 for like 19 or something.
All right, okay, but guess what, Chris? He held Book, KD, and
Played good
CP3 to
defense
6
that night.
points. I don't want to hear nothing, man. He did his thing, man.
He played good. Hey, he's played well.
Leave him be. Nah,
He's
I don't
played
want to hear
well,
that.
but
Whatever you got to say, I don't want to hear it.
He's
Whatever
played
you
well.
gotta say, I don't want to hear it.
He's
'Cause
played
you
well, but I
started
don't
it
think the
off-
Clippers have enough.
started it off
They don't
with
have enough
4 for
without
19.
Kawhi. and
I don't
George
want to
to do
hear it. Started off
It was
toxic.
actually 3 for 19, but I digress.
Man, y'all.
Yeah,
y'all
it wasn't all that good.
Don't make me go crazy right now.
Sis, with no Kawhi, no Paul George, series done.
Yeah, it's a wrap. I mean, honestly and truly, it's curtains. It's a curtain call. The Phoenix, like I said, the Phoenix Suns, they got KD, they got Devin Booker. Like I mean, Chris Paul. That's more than enough to, especially over a Clippers team with mentioned their 2 stars. But I just want to say, the Clippers are who we thought they were. And they every single year they bamboozle people into thinking that they're going to be there at the end because they're like, finally, this year we're finally healthy. We got all our stars. We're going to make this big run. Kawhi's going to be mentioned amongst the superstars. No, he ain't. And no, they ain't. That's just what it is. The Clippers is going to clip, to quote the very great Kerry Champion. Clippers going to clip. Every single time y'all invest and put all this faith in them, they fail you every single time. Their championship is playing the Lakers and beating the Lakers because that's the only thing that they can seem to do right. Other than that, outside of that, it's the same story every single time. It's the same story every single time. Like, I think Kawhi is a very good player. I don't think Kawhi is great. I don't think he's elite. I'm sorry, I don't. I can't. The best, like the great Shannon Sharp said, the best ability is availability. And whenever you need Kawhi, he is not there.
That's very true.
Like, I don't know if it's a serious the bad fortune or just Kawhi maybe he just don't love it like that. I don't know. But every time, all I know is every single time around this time, he's not there. And it's always something, knee soreness or, like it's just something. Like it's just always something. So yeah, it's a wrap. It's over with.
Mike, series done.
Knee soreness. I'm a nurse.
You know what I'm saying? Like that'll be the report for Kawhi coming out. Like
Put some icy hot on your knee and play.
Elbow has a tender spot on the left, so he's going to be out for 16 games. Like what?
It'd be nice making all those millions and never having to play.
And not having to work.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I don't know. Y'all give my boy Clay a lot of crap. My guy tore his Achilles and his ACL in the same leg. I'm sure he has knee soreness every second of every day. But like, Kawhi, man, I mean, you get what you pay for, and I think that's really the way you have to look at it, especially for Bomber. I mean, you traded for 2 guys, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like, the Kawhi thing was, a brand new thing. You know what I mean? Like, sure, you tore your ACL, and that's definitely a big part of it, but you had injury issues prior to that. You were on load management prior to that, and him tearing his ACL definitely probably is a big part of this knee soreness that a lot of people aren't talking about. Kawhi probably thinks, yo, listen, like, this already happened to me one time in the playoffs. I'm going to take it easy. I saw what happened to KD. I saw what happened to myself. You see what happened to a lot of people throughout the league when you don't take things seriously. So if he does feel like, if that is his bad knee, it's definitely something I would take in consideration as a player first. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. But I do want to give love to my guy, Russ. I always come on here and I make jokes, but Russ is actually the only one that's really shown up consistently.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's something that, despite shooting like crap, because he still shoots like crap, it's
Yeah.
I mean, except the other night. Oh my god, my guy was just Steph Curry out there. He was cooking from three. I don't know what was going on, but test him right now. But it's definitely for me. I mean, you trade, like I said, you traded for Paul George, you traded for Kawhi, and SGA is out there in OKC doing amazing things. And you know, you got a lot of guys that you could have potentially got, and you didn't. And it's because you wanted these two superstars. But, and I mean this respectfully because it doesn't happen often. You know, guys like Donovan Mitchell do get traded. You know, there are guys in the world that do get traded and they are still good players. But when players like that become available, there's normally a reason. And if it's not because they want out, it's usually not a positive reason. Now, if Alana said, yo, I want out, cool, that's a whole different conversation. Now, if she just gets traded for some picks, it's probably a bigger part of that. It's either the organization's going down the drains or they don't believe in you. And in OKC's case, it was Paul George had a great season, but injuries, you know, and it was just a huge part for Kawhi. You know, going to the Clippers organization, why did you have to end up going there instead of going to the Lakers? It's because a lot of people believed, hey, man, can this guy be here every single day? And I think that's really my big problem for them. So Alana hit it on the head. You know, they are who you thought they were. And, I mean, they're a superstar team. And I'm very critical of Joel Embiid. I just started calling him a superstar this year. And my reason was because, bro, you play 40, 50 games a year. You're not a superstar to me. And now you're playing 60, 70. You're in that conversation. And Kawhi's never been in that conversation for me since I was like 12. So what?
Yeah.
Since Gonzo had PG.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I was also 12.
It's been that long.
That's when his injuries all started, when he broke his leg in Indiana.
I was a little ass boy. Now I'm a gremlin.
Yeah, I think the series is over too. Kawhi being out, Paul George being out, it's done. The Clippers have to find out what they're gonna do next now.
Respectfully, I think it's, you know, time to go get those picks back for whatever you can get. I think Kawhi and PG are probably out the door, and it's not, you know, it's sorry. Hey, your knee hurt, cool, bro. Don't worry, because at the end of the season, I got you, bro. I'm gonna send you to New York. I'm gonna send you wherever I gotta go. You're gonna get the best medical treatment. I might drive you there myself. Like, I don't know what you would get for PG, but you could definitely still get something for Kawhi right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Give you Patrick Beverly back.
Wherever team Kawhi goes to, I want that team to know he's probably gonna get injured when you need him the most.
That's fine. I'll take him.
Yeah, I mean, when he's healthy, he gonna give you.
Yeah, he's gonna play.
He gonna give you some, you know what I'm saying, definitely some great elevation when he's healthy. But it's just the if. It's the if. That's the biggest thing. Is the if he's healthy or when he's healthy.
I'll tell you what. I'll meet up with Alana too. I would drive Patrick Beverly back to the Clippers facilities myself if we get Kawhi.
As long as he goes to the Clippers and not the Lakers, I will help you. I will absolutely meet you halfway and drive him right to Inglewood and drop his ass off. I will help you with that.
Pull up, Kawhi, get in, Pat, get out, real quick swap.
Yeah, we're doing a swap.
I'll give you Patrick Williams too whole time. Like, I'll make it even sweeter, you know? Like, it'll be a beautiful thing. Hey, Greg, you know, I could sweeten the pot too. I got a 1.8% chance at the number 1 overall pick right now. If you want to take those odds, man, I got a little something spicy right now cooking. You can have it. It's all yours, baby. It's all yours. Just let me get me some Kawhi. It's all love.
Hey, you want Kawhi now until
no
he gets injured.
Listen, he already plays 35 games.
Yeah, until he plays.
I just want the jersey.
He's gonna be on Facebook mad as hell.
I just want the jersey, man. I just want the jersey. Once I get the jersey, I'm kicking it.
That's it.
I said, Greg, they got Lonzo Ball jersey still freaking full price right now at Dick's Sporting Goods. What?
And that's insane.
It should be 70% off, just like him.
That's right. There it is. 70% off.
Come on, man.
Yes, hey. because there's no way that should be full price. I don't know
Nah,
what they're
Nah, dude. I asked them every
what
time I
they
go.
on, boy.
Every time I go, hey man, can I get a discount on this? They just laugh. I'm like, I'm so for real right now, though. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, oh, it's funny.
Frankie, thanks for watching. My man, he says Suns win. It's not because of KD's themselves. Oh well. Frankie's not a KD fan, obviously.
Well, he loves KD.
Now let's speak on one of my favorite people, LeBron James.
Interesting.
Not my favorite, but we're gonna say he's my favorite today.
Okay. Because I was like, Greg, if memory serves me correctly. But that's okay. I'm gonna let you live.
Damn. She said, I got you this time.
Right.
Don't let that shit happen again.
Right, don't let that. So the Bron versus Dylan Brooks saga that has started.
No, it hasn't.
So Dylan Brooks says, hey, Bron, you're old. Nobody's scared of you. Could care less if I make him mad. Bron kind of cut his media session short today. They started asking Dylan Brooks questions. He's like, okay, I'm not talking about that no more. And left. This is how I feel about the whole thing. When we talk about Bron being the GOAT and being in the same sentence as Jordan, this is where they always separate at. Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Of course. This is where they separate, because let Dylan Brooks talk sideways to Mike. He don't even have to be in his prime. Let him talk sideways to 1998 Mike and see what would have happened.
Oh, I'm so glad you're going here.
Woo!
I'm so glad you're going here.
That would have been Dylan Brooks would have been crying to the hotel room. So now I've seen a lot of people, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, wherever. Bron doesn't need to drop 40 on him. He's a Hall of Famer. What does he have to do with Dylan? He doesn't have to do anything. Yes, he does.
Why though?
Because if you want to be in this conversation of GOAT, you can't have someone challenge you openly like that.
Oh God,
and then drop like 15 and be
Greg,
like, yeah, that's
Greg, can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead, Mike. Yeah.
So I want Alana to have the floor because she's one of the strongest, most independent women I've ever met, and I missed her. But also,
love you too, bro.
I wouldn't respond to somebody that I didn't respect, and I think when I look at the first two games, Bron in 34 minutes had 21, 11, and 5. And then in game 2, he had 28, 12, and 3. Mm-hmm. So why are you talking? Why are you talking like you just locked me up? I'm 40. I have 12 boards on you, and I dropped damn near 30 each time. I don't respond to you because that's his agenda. Every time ever in my life, on the real, every time we've talked about Dylan Brooks, it's never about his game. It's never about his, like, why I love Draymond. It's because Draymond will low-key lock you up and then talk shit. Dylan just he just allows you to score 30 points and then says, yeah, but you didn't get 40 on me, dog. And I'm just like, okay. Like,
Dylan Brooks is like Lance Stevenson. He just talks to be talking.
I love Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly on the Bulls was one of my favorite things. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like he didn't tell Dame that Dame time was over. And then I looked at the box score and Dame had 35. And I was like, man, what did I miss, man? Like, something's not adding up over here, man. And it's just Dylan is. If I was Bron, bro, ain't no thing, bro. I'm cooling. I do not care. Like, I'm unbothered by you. Now I'm pissed we lost, but that's cool. And I think like when you see a one-sided argument, that's when you really start to see who's really reaching, who's trying to be a pick-me person. Bron didn't end that shit short because he knew, hey man, I don't want to say nothing because I'm about to get locked up by Dylan Brooks. He didn't say nothing because, dude, I'm averaging a double-double. Like, what are you? I'm averaging 30 points right now. What are you talking about? Like, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this noise, man. And half the time it's Triple J that's guarding LeBron anyways. It's not even Dylan Brooks. So why are we even having this conversation if you're not going to guard me the whole 35 minutes? And that's all I felt on that. It was just like, bro, who are you? Who are you?
I get it. I
Be
get
like
it.
if Freddie Henderson said something to me, I'd just be like, man, what? Well, anyways, what happened?
Oh, we'll let that marinate. All right, Sensei, I'll let you have the floor. I know Bron is your guy. So,
Chris, do you have anything to say before I go?
oh yeah, Chris, go ahead.
I don't want to,
No, you're good.
because once I go, I'm gone. So go ahead, Chris.
I'm gonna sit back.
No, you can go ahead and go because I agree with what Mike said. Why answer to a guy that really outside of Memphis, a lot of people don't even know who his name is.
Did you agree with that last part too?
Yeah, I agree with the last part as well, Mike.
Okay, I just want to clarify. Go ahead, sis.
Okay, so here's the thing. I started with this.
Hey, yo, dude.
Greg, what you said would be valid if Dylan Brooks said that during the game. Dylan Brooks called Bron old and said, you can't take me one-on-one after the game. The result of the game had already perished. Like, they had already won.
Yeah.
So, of course, you feel more comfortable saying you're old and you can't take me one-on-one when you've already won. Like,
Right, you did, right.
that's just like if you are face-to-face with somebody and y'all talking about fighting, but y'all don't fight. Or, I mean, y'all actually fight and you win, and then you get to, you know what I'm saying, talking more mess, but you didn't say nothing when I was in your face. It's the equivalent. If I'm Bron, like Mike said, I'm not, sir, the only reason why you're ever on any national media is because you're saying something crazy about somebody else. We're never highlighting Dylan Brooks because Dylan Brooks had a double-double. Dylan Brooks had a triple-double. Dylan Brooks scored 40 points and you know what I'm saying, had 5 steals and what, like, we're never talking about Dylan Brooks in that vein. It's always, what did he say about somebody else? When he got into it with the Warriors, it was because he got into it with Draymond, or because he said something to Steph, or got under Clay's skin. You didn't get under Clay's skin. Clay responded with the truth. He didn't respond with a lie. He didn't respond with a rumor. He responded with the truth. I got 4 of them things. I am where you want to be. So it's like, at the end of the day, if I'm Bron, what am I responding to you for? You are beneath me. Like, that would be like LeBron going on Twitter and responding to every person that calls him some other name other than his actual name, or actually responded to it like a Skip Bayless. For what? I'm LeBron James. I'm here, you're here. But what I will say is this. You gotta let, my grandmother taught me this lesson as a child. You gotta let sleeping dogs lie. Y'all got away with 2 okay LeBron games. Like, you know, that first game that the Lakers won, he played, I mean, he still got 21, but he played, you know what I'm saying? He got 28 the second game, but it wasn't like an effective 28. Now you giving LeBron rest and you giving him bulletin board material. And the worst thing that you can do, as if memory serves correct, is to piss LeBron off. Ask Paul Pierce how that affected for him in 2012 when he said, we going back home pretty much, you know what I'm saying? I hit the dagger over LeBron and he was talking crazy. Ask him how that 45, 18, and 5 felt. Because I still remember. I don't know if anybody else remembers, but I do. So ask him how that felt. So all I'm saying is, if I'm Bron, I take the same response. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not here for the BS. We'll see y'all when it's time to play. And when we suit up and we get in between those lines, I want you to remember everything you said. I want you to remember that you said that I was old and I can't take you one-on-one. Because if we look at the stats that versus Bron and Dylan Brooks, Bron has had great numbers. Like, it's not like Bron went like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have like a Russell Westbrook where he went 3 for 19 and you know, like, he ain't have one of those. Like, he's still getting to his spots at will. He just has to be more aggressive, in my opinion. But if you want Bron to be aggressive, piss him off. And I'm glad that people keep asking him. I'm glad that this is news. I'm glad that Dylan Brooks said what he said, because you're gonna have to eat that.
And that's gonna be the best part of it, is that you are going to have to eat that. Because at Bron at 38 is still better than Dillon Brooks at whatever age he's at. Let's keep it for real.
I don't even know.
Let's keep it for and he talking about he wanted a sample of Cleveland, Miami, LeBron. If he got Cleveland, Miami, LeBron, we would never hear about Dillon Brooks again. He would be in China playing for the Shanghai Sharks. Let's keep it for real. Like, come on.
That's facts.
I just don't like that. Like I said, I respect it. If you could talk trash in between the lines, cool. And you got the dub, fine. Don't say that after you already got the one. I already got the win. Like, don't say that. Don't get the popping and gloating after you already got the win. Talk to me during that time. Show me what you about during that time when I have something to do, when I can do something about it. And then if I don't do something about it, I gotta eat that. But don't wait until after the results where you feel comfortable. Now all of a sudden you wanna come on, bro. You ain't never call that. You ain't never say that to that man face. You know that. Like,
oh no, he didn't, and this is what when it comes to this, that was the one time, sis, you brought it up, the 2012 Game 6 conference final. Bron dropped the 45 on Boston. That was the only game where I was like, man, this dude kind of played like Jordan tonight.
But see, that ain't even the only game. That's just the only game you remember because of the hype of it. But there's more evidence. But I get what you're saying.
And it was like, because the reason why I say that is because there was no smiling, there was no hee ha ha, it was he was serious from the opening tip to the end. Yeah. He was an assassin that night.
But Greg, so you said that night he was an assassin, but you like the same conversation applied back then because LeBron didn't respond to Paul Pierce either. He really
he didn't say a word. He didn't say a word. He went out there
and hooped. And I think that's really the agenda is, I don't give a shit like what the outside narrative is, and I'm not going to feed into that because that definitely goes into a locker room. And I don't think any of the players in that locker room would really take too much into that. And we're not going to all go here and go, Bron, what do you think is going to happen tonight? Because everybody in that locker room knows it's just Dillon Brooks at the end of the day. Now, if this was like Jason Tatum, I think it'd be a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
him and Tatum have that feud that kind of has been we haven't really seen that feud since those early days. And I think that would be something really interesting, especially Boston versus LA. It definitely would be a different narrative. It'd be a lot more bigger on a media standpoint. But I think just not allowing outside issues to feed into your locker room, especially coming off a loss, that's just not what Bron's about. And I think that's really a winning mentality is like, I don't care what they said. Like, here's what we're doing, and we're just going to stay locked in.
And I think, too, the separation as well is that Kobe and Jordan would have had something to say back in the media as well. So with the fact that Bron is like, I'm just not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just go out and play. It's like, oh well, he doesn't. No, it's just there's different forms of killer instinct or mentality. And I think I don't know if you guys watched like I forgot what podcast Shaq was on. I think it was the one with like I think it might have been I Am an Athlete with like Brandon Marshall and all of them. And he was talking, he made a very good point. He was like, people say that Bron's not a killer. He said, but if you put two people in the room and one person has 16 bodies, the other person has 8 bodies, is the other person with 8 bodies not a killer just because he has less bodies? Like, he, at the end of the day, he still killed people. Like, so it's like, just because he may have less, he's still like, you know what I'm saying? A killer is a killer.
This question's a setup.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to think of it in the sense like everybody ain't gonna respond to everything the same. And just because that is this case doesn't mean that this person lacks something else that the other person has. It's just I'm gonna approach it in a different way. Bron's never really been a talker, especially in the media. Now he might say some stuff on the court, but he's never been really a guy that's gonna go at somebody in the media. Right. Never.
And there's the only real time I remember is when Clay was talking crap. Clay and Curry.
That's right.
That was the only, and that's a dynasty versus a dynasty. I mean, those were two teams that played against each other in the finals 4 or 5 times. So like over the years that grows. Dillon Brooks, bro, I've probably played you like 10 times, bro. Like, why are you talking to me? You're trash.
And you ain't even never been where I've been. Like, you can't like Kobe
not even an all-star, bro.
Yeah, like Kobe had a saying against OKC when they were like before they made the finals, and he told James Harden, "You can't sit at my lunch table." And I feel like Bron feels the same way. Like, sir, you can't even sit in the same room with me.
Right?
Why
Oh,
am I
dude.
giving you the
Hell no,
attention?
dude.
Like, you know what I'm saying? What am I?
You're not
Come on,
even
bro.
you're not even sitting with Pat Bev, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
No,
Like,
exactly.
let's keep it real.
Like-
Like, you ain't even got a defensive player of the year. You ain't been an all-star. You ain't
Yeah,
even been considered to be an all-star. You don't have none of that. You just have quotes. You are famous off of quotes.
Quotes.
That's it. People know
Twitter
you because of
fingers.
quotes. That's it.
So, do you guys feel okay? Let me ask this: if the Lakers lose and Bron only has like 25, is that a hit on him kind of being the GOAT, being in that conversation with Jordan, if that happens?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Bron is at a point where his legacy is cemented. Like, it is what it is. Either you think Bron is one of the greatest players of all time or you don't. Like, there's nothing else that he could do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He was another championship. Obviously, it makes the argument more competitive if you want to put it in that perspective. But even if he loses, like, Bron's place in history is already cemented. He can either add to it. I don't think it can lessen, because you can't. Lessen to me means you could take something away. You can't take away what he's already cemented. Like, that's already leading scorer in the NBA, 4 champion. Like, you can't take that away. You can't subtract that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when Jordan was, I mean, think about Jordan when he was with the Wizards. Jordan was still, like, people still revere Jordan as Jordan. Like, he already won the 6 championships, the 5 MVPs, the different, like, you couldn't take that away. No matter how bad he played, Jordan was still Jordan. So I feel like it's the same. It's only this conversation because Bron is still going.
He was still hooping though. I mean, he
You
played.
know,
He played 82 games. You know,
No,
so
I mean, he was still
like,
hooping, but what I'm saying is he wasn't the Jordan that people were accustomed to.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't, you know, the Bulls Jordan, but I mean, obviously he was still hooping, but
that jersey
there was there was nothing that he could have done to lessen what people see him as, and that's kind of where I'm coming from with it.
Right. I think my only thing is the first round exit again, and I think that's something that definitely would be
fair.
an issue.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, it like, if you were to tell me Bron gets wiped by the Suns or the Warriors in the next round, I'm looking at those rosters and I'm like, yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? But bro, you got bodied by Tyus Jones and Dylan Brooks.
Yeah. That's fair.
Anthony
Davis.
Looking sideways,
That's fair.
Hold on, let me flex real quick. You have Anthony Davis and AR-15, but
shout out my boy AR.
That's my dog. That's my dog. I went crazy in a softball game the other day. I stole third. I stood up and I screamed it. I don't care. It was a men's league. It's a beer league just for fun. Like I was telling Gonzo, I stood up. I said, "I'm him." And everyone was like, "All right, bro." They're like, "Chill out." Everyone's like 40. I was like, "I don't care, bro." I was like,
listen, hey man, it is what it
bets
is,
out
man.
there, boy. I was killing it. But no, I think another first round exit definitely would hurt. Alana can fact check me. She's the Laker diehard, but that's the 3rd time in a row, if I'm not mistaken, that they've been in the playoffs, that they just got bounced in the first round.
No, because that's not true. Because the first year that Bron was there, they were a 3 seed. He got hurt. They didn't make.
No, I mean post championship.
Post championship. Well, no, because the only first round exit, because they didn't make the playoffs last year. The year before that, they had the first round exit. So that's not 3 in a row. That's only 2.
That is worse than a first round.
No, but I know. Well, I know.
No, I hear
you.
I hear you.
If you talk about fact checking, I'm just
saying, No, fact. So it's 2 first round exits potentially, and then you miss the playoffs the other time, and it's like, that's like, to me, that's kind of tough, bro. Like it really.
But is it the same? Is it the same as, and not to cut you off, Mike? But would it be the same as when Kobe got swept twice, 2 years in a row?
Right.
Are you saying it's like significant in that way?
I think it's, and you know what, that's a great point, because I ain't going to duck from it. I think that's why Kobe's not in the GOAT debate. And I think the GOAT debate is you lost
Okay.
twice in the
Okay.
finals, and the other
Okay.
conversation is, man, you made Shaq leave. I mean, there was a lot of things and a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, no,
intangibles that
that's
went
fair
into
enough.
that.
I just wanted to know if that, yeah, that's
It's
fair.
also how many shots did that man miss? God bless his soul. But golly, I'll be looking at the stats sometimes.
Hey, now.
He was a killer for sure, but my man also shot a few blanks. I ain't gonna lie to you, but
Quite a bit of blanks, but
quite a bit of blanks. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just go down the block and just air it out, but he wouldn't hit anything but stop signs and trees. So I mean, it's just really that's what it comes down to. But I think to Greg's point, the first round exits definitely hurt. But I do look at the first few years with Jordan, and I'm like, yo, how many first round exits did you have? How many times did you get beat by the Lakers or the Celtics or the 76ers? And then you look at a team that was busting them every single day like Detroit. And it's just that's something for me that, I love this point, and I hate Nick Wright with a passion. If I have 3 people in this world, my mom always told me never to hate somebody, but I allowed myself 3 people. So Nick Wright is one of them, but he had a great point that was everybody always acts like Jordan only played for 6 years. And I think, what did you do the other 10? Because every single year Bron was in the league. I mean, my man's was in the finals or at least the Eastern Conference Finals. So, to Alana's point, sure, you didn't win, but I mean, you went. And I think that's something that, come on, man. Yeah, Mike Brown is your head coach back then, and that wasn't a flex like it is today.
Yeah, I would say he wasn't the same Mike. He wasn't the same Mike Brown that he is now. And I think too, to add to your point, Mike, is that what people have to understand is that when people use the ring argument as to why Bron isn't GOAT, we got to look at it in a sense, because if we're just talking, well, he has 6 championships and Bron only has 4. Right. Well, Bill Russell has 11. Robert Horry has 7. I don't think you're choosing either one of those 2 over Michael Jordan as far as like to start your team or as your GOAT conversation, even though the rings would say otherwise. Like there's a lot of things that go into teams winning a championship because that is a team accomplishment. But if we're talking eye test and what did you do as an individual, listen, as far as how you have him ranked is subjective because everybody's going to see something different. But to say that he's not in that Bron's not in the conversation is asinine in my opinion, because we haven't seen another Bron. You know what I'm saying? Like we can go back. Bron is like a hybrid of a bunch of great players that we've seen in the past put into one guy.
Yeah.
Now, Bron has had his mishaps, he's had his failures, and I'll be the first person to say it. Like I've been a Bron fan since he was in high school, so I didn't see the whole thing through. I will never act like he don't have no blemishes because he does. But when it comes to sitting at that lunch table that I talked about, it's 3 people that have to, for a fact, in my opinion, be there. It is Jordan, it is Kobe, it is Bron. Where you have them is your business. But when it comes to just having that meeting between the minds, those 3 guys, in my opinion, have to be there.
Can I ask a question?
I agree with that. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask a question? A non-biased question? Can Curry sit at that table?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Oh, that's low. You said only 3.
So you're right, but I was just thinking in the sense of like how
I hear you.
Talk about GOAT, right? But
I ain't hating.
But in totality, absolutely, like it would have to be 4. Curry has revolutionized the game to the point where and Shannon Sharp said this actually today, that the 3-point shot is more valuable than the dunk nowadays because of Stephen Curry. So he absolutely has, he getting a plate. Somebody making his plate and he's sitting down comfortable with napkins. Like he's good. Trust me.
Straight up. Yes.
Can Clay come too?
No, you going far now. You're going far now. But what I will say, Mike, though, in Clay's defense,
top 75.
He should have been top 75.
Yeah, in there. Yes.
He should have been top 75.
Yeah, he should have been.
He should have been top 75. To me, there's a couple questionable names that I feel like you could put Clay in front of.
I'm gonna say it.
My personal opinion.
Disrespectful, Alana. Before you go, just like mad disrespectful.
No, go ahead. This is what this is for.
Last time on GSR, Greg will never allow me on the G Report ever again. Damian Lillard won Rookie of the Year and then never did anything ever again. I don't care. I'll die on that hill. I don't care how you feel about it. Clay not being on there, but Damian Lillard being on there. What?
I will here. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll raise you this.
Raise it.
I feel like
What he do?
both of them. I feel like both of them belong. But I feel like I would there's other people on there that I would take off to make sure that Clay was there.
Agree.
I do feel like but hear me out though.
Nope, I don't want to.
Because I feel like Dame doesn't have the accomplishments because Dame is unfortunately stupidly loyal. And I mean, and that's, you know what I'm saying, that's not his fault. Like, that's just something that that's how he's designed, and I get it. But if you put Dame in the situations that you put all of the other top 75 players, Dame is just as successful because Dame has the game to be that successful. He just does not have the squad to be that successful to where he has the accolades. I can't hold that against Dame because he doesn't have. Listen, put Dame on Golden State instead of Clay. The same results happen.
It's the same.
It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just in Portland, unfortunately, and he just won't get out of his own way to go to a team where he can shine and get the accomplishment. I hate you so much. to get the accomplishments, but what I'm saying is, like, Dame doesn't lack skill. He just lacks support. He lacks help.
And I feel like I could say this. Me and Gonzo, we could tag team it. Bam, just like that. Because it comes across, and some people said they listened to what Kendrick Perkins said and said that it was a racist point. As a white man, a part of the white man delegation, I could scream. There are so many white boys from the 30s and the 40s on that list that are just trash. I don't want to hear it. They're like 5'8".
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, dog. Like,
yeah.
Alana, do you know Bobby Wakanda? I'm like,
no, I don't know. I don't. There's a good like 10 players that I'm like, who the hell is this?
Right. Oh, he was
And
teammates
like,
with Bill
come on,
Russell.
bro.
I'm like, I don't care. Like, what?
No, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna stack Dame against those guys, it's like, right. What are we talking about? Like,
no, I do agree with you, and I think a guy like Tracy should be on that list as well. To me,
yeah, Tracy.
Dwight Howard not being on that list pissed me off.
It's asinine.
Dwight got so mad. He said, "I'm going to China."
I don't care what nobody said. Like, feel how you feel about Dwight Howard, but there was a time when nobody could do nothing with Dwight Howard.
Who's the MVP?
The only person that stopped him was Kobe, and I mean, goddamn, like, give him great. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep it real.
And keep it a real. Being at one point he couldn't even stop Kobe. He had to team up with him, and that was just to keep it real.
Yeah,
that was just something. And then Kobe told him to get out of Dodge. He told him to stop talking to me, bro. But that was a whole different. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Greg. I didn't mean to take over the show, but
no, you good. No. It's
we don't have that conversation until the top 100 come out. I promise you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If Clay doesn't make the top of 100, I'm a riot.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
It's gonna have to be one hell of a 25 years.
Yeah, like, come on.
Let me see Zion on that top 100. I promise you.
Mike, I'm calling you. We loading the troops up because ain't no way.
Man, we can't talk about this.
No way.
We can't talk about this. We can talk after the show. We want to talk about killers. We'll talk about it. We want to talk about killers. We can talk about it. I will not. Hold on, real quick. Matter of fact, I don't even want to be here for this. I wasn't a part of this conversation.
It's the kid in the Cubs hat. Just look for the kid in the Cubs hat.
I'll put on the Sox hat so fast. I promise you. I promise you. I'll rap Cardinal Red.
So Lakers, Grizz, who do we have winning game 3 and who do we have winning the series?
Lake Show
for Sensei. Mike?
If Ja plays, I'll give it to the Lakers. If Ja don't play, I'll give it to the Grizzlies.
Yeah, because they, for whatever reason, play better without Ja.
They do play better without Ja.
Because my man Tyus Jones is him, and people got to start respecting him. I don't know why people don't like Tyus Jones. Real quick, Gonzo, before you go, he's a stand-up dude. He don't play with guns. He don't beat up kids. He ain't gang-banging on Instagram. He ain't messing with strippers. He's just a genuine dude, and they won't give him minutes. So go ahead, Gonzo. I'm sorry. But, yeah, keep playing with Ja.
Chris?
I'm gonna say Memphis in 7.
Big Memphis.
This is 7. Okay.
Big motion.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think Memphis in 7 too. Memphis plays better without Ja. So if he's gonna be out for longer than what we think, then yeah, I think Memphis is going to end up winning.
Greg, do you think it's crazy that there's all these injuries going around the league right now, and the only one who's actually injured is Tyler Hero? Everybody else is just sore, and I think that's Tyler Hero broke his wrist. And Alana, I don't know, I sent it to you. I don't know if it ever sent because they deleted the post. But Tyler Hero took 3 shots with a broken wrist, and I got Kawhi out here talking about some knee sore.
I don't think I saw that, but I just think it's crazy how so many players are getting injured around this time, with especially how advanced everything is, especially like with recovery and rehab and things of that nature. Like that players are like, oh, I gotta be out. Like I don't think I've ever seen that like ever happen to the point where like major stars are just like, yeah, I'm just out for this game. And it's like, is the play, like you're playing for, this is all the chips in the middle of the table. Like, how are you just out? But again, I don't know the severity of the injury, and I don't want to call nobody a liar, but I definitely do think it's weird.
And the whole argument for the load management was so the players could be healthy.
Exactly.
It seems like we're seeing more players.
More injuries.
Because your body works off of repetition. Like you need that constant. You know what I'm saying? Like 100%. So when it stops, it just like it's like a restart almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I feel like, and a big thing for me is why we see these guys not play is because you got to think of it from a different perspective. And this is my toxic trait as a former athlete. I always thought about it like this. I'm like, damn, if I get hurt, you always calculate it in your head. Like when I tore my Achilles, I started doing quick math, public school math real quick. I was in 6th grade again, calculating the months, how long it would take. And I was like, man, that's like a whole 9 to 12 months from now. So like, especially for Kawhi, and especially if it is, I don't know what knee it is. I don't care what knee it is. But regardless of the fact, it's a conversation of, I remember tearing my Achilles, hit my ACL against Denver in the playoffs, and I missed the entirety of the 2022 season. And I think that's something for him where it's like, okay, so if I go out there and I play against Phoenix and I tear my ACL again, I'm going to miss all of 2023, 2024. And that's something for him that I feel like he's taken into consideration as an athlete, saying, listen, I've already missed X amount of time. I don't want to miss any more time rehabbing, because rehab is one of the worst things I've ever experienced in my life. But not the worst. Please, God, leave me alone. But it's definitely something that I think you have to look at and be like, yo, listen, like if I tore my ACL again, and just like Clay, I mean, look at Clay. Clay tears his ACL, and then, you know, as he's rehabbing, he tears his Achilles. And then now that's 2 years. Now that 3rd year, everyone's calling you washed and everyone's saying you're horrible and you're just trying to get your feet back down from under you. So I don't completely kill guys like Kawhi, because I do understand there are issues. And Gonzo and I talked about it. Gonzo grew up with Paul George on Indiana, and I grew up with Derrick Rose in Chicago. And, you know, you have to, especially with Kawhi's case everywhere he's been, you have to manage that. So if you think, hey, I might tear my ACL, I ain't going to lie to you, then just say that. But don't say my knee is sore.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you have a major injury like that, it can create kind of a mental block as well. That can take a while to get over.
Right. Yeah, I'm still working on my, not to make it about me, but you know, I played my first game back. I stole 2 bases. I was hyped, and then my 3rd at bat, I'm running the first, and I slammed my foot down to beat out the run. And then I felt my foot. It just felt kind of weird for a second, and I like, your brain kicks in like, yo, chill out. Like, and then the rest of the day, I was just hanging out. I wasn't trying to do nothing crazy because you don't want to get hurt again, and that's something, you know, you just got to work through.
Yeah, definitely. Injuries that change the courses of a franchise. If Kawhi doesn't get hurt, a couple years back, the Clippers, I felt like they would have won that championship. I felt like they would have beat Phoenix and they would have beat the Bucks if Kawhi did not get hurt.
I don't think so.
I feel like they were that good that season.
I felt like True Holiday. I feel like people disrespect True Holiday.
Yeah.
True Holiday is without a doubt locking up Paul George. I don't think he'd get Kawhi. I think he definitely locks up Paul George.
Yeah,
and
I would agree.
And Middleton was still, if I'm not mistaken, that was before Middleton kind of fell off too. That was kind of his last peak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the last
And
one.
also too, you gotta also think about Paul George in the playoffs. He's not the most reliable guy.
Yeah,
Like let's keep it real. Like he's not the most.
And
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
he ain't had a history where we like, oh, you can't doubt Paul George. Yeah, you
Right.
can.
And don't forget about the greatest bull of all time. Bobby Portis was doing his thing as well. So I think that's definitely very important.
Yeah,
Had to sneak that in.
of course.
Bobby.
So let's wrap it up with the NFL.
Oh, no.
Some players got suspended for gambling,
Same.
doing things that shouldn't have been done.
Same.
Two Lions players got suspended for the whole season, and then the Lions said, well, the heck with you guys, we're just going to cut you. And there were three other players that were
The Bears.
suspended for 6 games as well.
Got you.
So, Chris, what were your thoughts on those players getting suspended for the gambling? It looks like the NFL is really cracking down and saying, look, if y'all gambling, I don't care if it's for fun, on your phone, whatever, we don't want it. So what were your thoughts on that?
You know he's biased. You got a whole gambling show.
The guys that gambled on that were actually gambling on NFL games, I understand why they got suspended, and they kind of set the precedent with Ridley that you were going to be out at least a year. Now the other guys the other 3 that wasn't betting on NFL games, which if they just wouldn't have done it while they were in the locker room, if they would have been out of the facility, they would have been fine.
Right.
I think that's kind of a hypocritical rule, because a lot of these stadiums and these teams the NFL's partnered with these sports books, but then a lot of these stadiums have sports book in the stadium. So it's kind of hypocritical to tell these guys you can't bet on other sports, especially if it's okay to do it as long as you're not in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only reason they got spent, because they were in the locker room when they did it. Now I understand why you can't bet on NFL games. I mean, you can't let players do that. So if they do that, there's going to be a suspension. But the other guys, I know they only got 6 games, but like that one guy that's a rookie, he loses all his guaranteed. He can lose all his guaranteed money now because he got suspended as a rookie. So if he has an injury, then he's screwed over something that if he had just done outside the locker room, he'd have been all right. But the players have to be smart enough. You know the rules. So even if you don't agree with them, you got to go by them, or you get yourself in a situation like this.
True. Sensei, the NFL frowns on gambling, but they make millions of dollars from it.
Mm-hmm.
So what were your thoughts on first the punishment that was laid out for the players that did gamble, and is the NFL kind of playing both sides? It's like, yeah, you don't want the players to gamble. You want the integrity of the game to be protected. But at the same time, you're making millions of dollars with people gambling on your games.
Yeah. I just kind of feels like the NFL wants their cake and want to eat it too. In my simple opinion, I feel like they want betting as long as they can control it. And the fact of the matter is that these players, they couldn't really control that because they probably had their own system of how they wanted things to work. So the fact that it's not run through the NFL, I think, is the bigger issue. I don't really think they care about the integrity of the game, because if we want to talk about integrity in the NFL, they haven't met in the middle. Like let's keep it all the way honest. Like there's been a lot of scandals, there's been a lot of hiccups, there's been a lot of things that have gone particularly wrong in the NFL. So it's like, you're mad that we're gambling, but as long as it's gambling under your control, then there's no issue. So like I said, I just feel like the NFL kind of wants their cake and eat it too. I don't necessarily agree with the punishment. I don't think it was that that crazy for them to get for it to be that severe, but I do understand that they feel like they needed to set an example. But it's like, if you're going to set the example with them, are you going to accept the example for everything else? Because if we want to, like I said, look at the laundry list of things that have been wrong in the NFL, are we addressing all of that too, or just the stuff that you, like I said, you don't get to break bread off of? Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. The whole situation is just kind of weird to me. But they also the players should know better. Like, that's not for the rules. So.
Facts, Mike. What did you think of the punishment?
I think the NFL is paving the way for the Bears to win the division, and I think it's going to be a beautiful thing. I do. I don't know what's funny. I think
it's all part of the script.
It is.
It's part of the script.
I think it's very unfortunate for a guy like Jameson Williams. Came off an ACL tear, obviously coming out of Alabama, and he came back and he was pretty solid towards the end of last year. And I think that's really important going into it. You're going to miss 6 games. Chris actually enlightened me. I didn't know that, the reasoning was because they were in the facility. I think that's, how'd you even know that is a weird thing from, like, well, how did this come out now is a weird conversation for me. Why didn't it come out earlier? Like, were you just checking the cameras and you were looking at my phone type thing? Like, it's a weird conversation, but,
I think Mike, they have some, hey, Mike, real quick, from what I understand, I guess they have some kind of monitoring system when the players are in the locker rooms or something, that on their phones or something, where they is how they knew, which I don't know how that's even legal, but that's what weird, that's what the report I saw earlier. They had some kind of monitoring system on it.
I mean, you give me $100 million, you can see what's on my phone during game day. But I mean, that's something. Whatever. But if you like what you see, you like what you see. If you don't, you don't. But I don't know. I think it's weird for sure. And to Chris's point, man, I'm still working at Wrigley Field every single day. They just built the DraftKings. They're still constructing it inside the facility, and in a league where Pete Rose isn't allowed in the Hall of Fame due to that same issue is kind of beyond me. So, it's definitely something that I think is double standard, double entendre. And I'm learning. Learning. Yeah, it's my word of the day on my calendar. But it's something for me that, hey man, only helps me, sir. So I do not care. I never cared. I'm excited for the draft. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the Lions are going to be in good hands, though. You still got Amon-Ra. As I actually tweeted earlier, I was like, please tell me Amon-Ra is a part of this suspension as well, because I was just praying. I was praying on everybody's downfall. Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra, everybody. David Montgomery, don't care. He's gone. Get out of here. You too. I don't care if it happened as a Bear or not, but I think it's crazy. So, I mean, it's kind of weird to me, or if you were gambling on college or women's basketball, whatever the case may be. I don't care if it was in the facility or not. It shouldn't have mattered because it has nothing to do with you.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I will say, as somebody who works for an NBA organization, they do not play about gambling.
No.
That's anybody. That's players, employees, whoever it is. Like, if you don't get caught, that's your business. But if you do so happen to get caught, they do not play about that, because that's something. I don't know if you have the same rules I have, but I'm not allowed to bet on the Cubs. I bet on the Cubs every day. I'm not allowed to bet on the Kings. I'm not. Yeah, I do. Do they have the same rules for you as far as like pictures and like autographs and stuff like that too? Or
it's kind of weird. It's a Mike Hughes thing. It's kind of weird. Dudes come up to me that I'm friends with, and it's like, I've almost gotten fired a couple of times because of
and that's another thing too. Like when you work for, and this is for anybody, just informational value here. If you work for an organization, any major sports team, they are very, very strict.
Yeah.
And like, if you can play the game right, you can get a lot of places working through those organizations. But if you make one minute slip up, they will get rid of your ass real quick and fast and hurt. Trust when I tell you, I done seen many people get thrown to the waist. Good workers too, by the way, but they done got thrown to the wayside because these organizations do not play. They are about every inch and every cent, every penny, every dollar.
No,
They
yeah,
are not having it.
it's
So,
a
yeah.
weird world too, because it's like
It is a very real world.
yeah, it's just what it was. And I remember 2021. My guy, I gotta give love to him, Jeremiah Paprocki. He was my first baseman in high school, and him and I, we were some of the biggest Cubs fans back then. Man, we watched the World Series together. We caught games together. We played high school baseball together. He got the job, the first black PA announcer to ever be at Wrigley Field.
Hey, shout out.
Yeah, he did his thing, but bro ass tried to fire me because Jeremiah walked up to me while I was sweeping, and he gave me a hug. He was just mad excited. He was mad emotional, and I was having a conversation with him. Bro was like, "What are you doing talking to him?" I was like, "Bro, I knew him before you knew him. Get out of here, bro. Don't talk to me."
Yeah,
like what?
That's how it be. I had my phone out one time, like courtside, and I wasn't even recording anything. I was just responding to a text, and like I had security coming to me, like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, responding to a text. Like, if you want to go to my camera film, you can. I didn't record nothing. Like, I'm responding to a text message.
I'll be sending it to
please
Gonzo.
relax.
I record things all day. No one talks to me crazy. I promise.
Yes. So it's unfortunate that the NFL kind of, just like Sis said, they want to have their cake and eat it too. But at the same time, rules are rules. And there are consequences. So there's that side as well. My whole thing is, as long as you're not betting on games that have to deal with your team, then it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
So if Travis Kelce wants to bet money on, the Dolphins are going to beat the Patriots, okay.
See, but I disagree.
As long as you're not betting money on the Chiefs.
I disagree though, just because you could have, like, think about it like this, Greg. If I say, "Hey, Jason, completely shit the bed playing center for the Eagles today as my brother, and I'm gonna take the under on the Eagles," and then that's like you don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So hey, I'm gonna put $10 million on the Eagles, shit the bed, and we could split it. And it's like, I think the whole league is the whole. If you're betting on the Chicago Sky or the Las Vegas Aces or something like that, who cares?
Yeah,
but it's like if you're betting on a team in the NFL, I think it's a problem.
Point.
Yeah. I agree, Mike.
That's the point there. Yes.
Because I'd be finessing. I'd be like, "Hey, yo, Alana, fold right now. I'll split it with you." Even.
Mike, damn it. They might be watching this. Hush.
Hold on, watch this. Alana, I got
you know.
There it is.
What happened?
My boy Mike. Hey, I count on Mike.
I think my internet went out or something.
Oh man, what an awesome show it has been. Mickey, thanks for watching. He wants Mike to take the jersey off.
Big Clay, baby.
What's happening, Mickey?
What's up, Mickey? Appreciate you, my boy.
Mickey.
Thank you so much for watching. Sensei, we got fans for Sensei out here doing her thing.
What's up, sis? Appreciate you. Thanks for the love.
Frankie loves Mike. We all know this.
Yeah, we know Mike. We know Mike.
I do okay.
That's fantasy Mike right there. Y'all better stop playing with him.
And Frankie wants a poster-sized pic of that. So he wants a poster.
You can get your poster size after me, Frankie. Fall back. First. I'm first. I'm big sis. I go first.
Sensei gets dibs first.
I'll send Frankie another picture later. What happened?
Mike, chill out.
What happened?
Well, first off, before we sign off, let's do final thoughts before we roll out. Mike, any final thoughts before we roll out?
That's it.
Hey, forget that.
Warriors. Greg, can I swear one time?
Go ahead.
Fuck that beam. I don't give a shit.
Hey, feel the roar.
fuck that means? I
Feel
don't even
the
know what that
roar.
means. Y'all ain't even
Matter of
Lions.
fact-
Like what?
Matter of
What?
fact, we're kings, and kings is lions. Feel the roar.
Hey,
Roar
can
with
I
us.
ask you
Roar
something?
Roar with us.
Can I ask you
Roar with us.
Can I ask you something? What my boy Yeezy say? What's a king to a god? I don't even know.
The Warriors ain't gods, my boy.
What's a king to a god?
He ain't a god scoring what 10 points.
You shut
He
your
ain't no
mouth. You
god.
shut your mouth.
Yeah. They don't want me to talk the real. Cuddy, they don't want me to talk the real.
Relax, yo. Chill out.
Oh, Chris, any final thoughts, my man?
The Hawks just beat the Celtics, so
Yeah.
that's
That's
not going to be
right.
a sweep.
They
Like,
just, they did,
thought,
they
and
just,
The Hawks
I ruined my
did.
pick
it's
for the day.
over.
Hawks
Same
did.
for mine. Ruined my parlay as well.
Well, they ruined everybody's parlay tonight. So the Hawks stay alive. It is now 2-1 in favor of Boston. The Knicks are leading right now. Last time I looked at it, so
Yeah, same. I looked at it too. They are
45,
leading
30,
right now.
45, 32 at half.
That's
Okay.
that's
All right.
battle of the mid.
It's good to see the Knicks back in the playoffs as well. It's good to see some of these fan bases that haven't had it in so long, Sacramento
Yes, sir,
and
kids.
the Knicks, to have that back. So it is awesome to see. Frankie said Lakers in 5. We shall see. We shall see. I'm not sure about that. Not sure if it's going to be in 5. I do need Dylan Brooks to stop talking.
Lakers in 6.
Because when he started talking, I was like, because anytime Brown loses a playoff game, I get happy. I'm like, yeah. And then he started talking. I said, oh.
Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6. So we shall see. Me and Chris have Memphis in 7. So we think it's going to be a longer series there. We thank everybody for taking time out of their Friday night to watch us, the Sports Happy Hour. I had fun in the host chair tonight. It was fun. Mike, I thank you for hopping on with us, my man.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Mike.
Keep on doing your thing, man. Keep on grinding for sure. Sis, I appreciate you as always. Keep grinding.
Thanks for coming on.
Well.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Chris, my man. Appreciate you as well, my guy. And tune in also before I forget. Red Kingdom will have our NFL draft special tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Tune in, y'all. Tune in. Check it out.
Yeah, so we'll have our NFL draft. We'll go over who we think the Chiefs need to get in their with their first 2 picks. The draft is in Kansas City this year, so I will be there.
Yes, sir.
I will be there. Yes, I will be there. Just hoping that it don't rain. Don't rain that day. But yes, we're excited for the draft as well. So that'll be tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. Hopefully the Bears don't mess up for Mike.
Shut your mouth.
Mike can have something to cheer for.
Hey, no, we doing it. I'm honestly, I'm cooling. I'm happy. I like my guys over there.
There it is.
Doing a bang up job right now.
There it is. So
how about them Colts, Gonzo? How about them Colts?
Hey, I'm a Colts fan too. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
How about them Colts? Lamar's coming though, so cool, I guess.
They need a quarterback.
They got 2 running backs.
Yeah, they got to do something.
Taylor and Lamar Jackson. That's cool. Who's gonna throw it? I don't know.
Mike, you chill out. You worry about the Chicago Bears, sir.
Bad. JF1, Justin Fields win an MVP. That's all I'm gonna say. That's my last note of the day.
And my team is the world champion. So We got Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, we are winning right now. But thank everybody for taking time out of your night and watching us. We'll be back with y'all next Friday. Have a awesome night and weekend.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so time to lace.